DrDisrespect has reportedly been permanently banned from Twitch. I'm going to go through a lot of the facts that have come out, the things that have actually occurred without speculation. And then at the end of this video, I'll wrap up with a little bit of speculation on what I believe may be going on. These are going to be the truthful events of the things that have happened so far regarding the DrDisrespect ban. I'm going to try and keep it as close to iron as what we have for sure as the events that have unfolded so far. So starting off, DrDisrespect has been banned on Twitch. It has been reported that it is permanent, and that's coming from a very, very reliable source. We will get to that in just a second. There was no official statement released on why the ban has occurred, but his page no longer exists. He no longer shows in your followers listing, and even subscribers are being issued refunds. I feel like for a ban to actually happen, refunds are the very disconcerting part of this. Twitch usually does not give refunds unless the allegations are very serious and they are for sure making this ban a permanent ban. The only thing that Twitch has come out and said, apparently when anybody who's a reporter calls in for a statement of any sort, what they get is, as is our process, we take appropriate action when we have evidence that a streamer has acted in violation of our community guidelines or terms of service. These apply to all streamers regardless of status or prominence in the community. I know that there are very, very, very many people out there who would laugh at that statement just due to the fact that it applies to all streamers, because there are very, very many that go against terms of service or violate community guidelines and yet still are prominent within the platform. The strongest part of that statement is the evidence part. They believe that the evidence they have is very concrete and very real, and that they've determined that this is reprehensible and rightly gave a ban off of that. That is what their belief is. So moving on to something that seems to be very, very terrible. The Twitter handle Slasher, which is run by Rod Breslau. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Sorry if I mispronounced that. But anyway, he usually comes out with very concrete, correct information from credible sources about esports insider things, as far as contract deals, rumors of, different people probably switching teams and all that sort of stuff. He comes out and is the first to report that the ban was permanent, and that there was no relation to the DMCA strikes that have come around recently. One unfortunate and particularly scary thing that Slasher tweets about is that for the last several hours, I have been told from credible sources the reason of DrDisrespect's ban. However, due to the importance and severity around the subject, I have refrained from going on it. I don't feel comfortable with it currently. And that's from someone who leaks insider information as his job. That's pretty serious. We then have another streamer make a very harrowing comment. Shannon Z Killer, who has stated that she knows the reason for the ban too, and states that DrDisrespect was done, and that is not just on Twitch. Not really sure what that means or what the allegations are that she knows about, but again, super, super serious. When I first heard about this, I was up in the air on how serious it was, but after reading all of these articles and everything, it seems very, very, very serious. So, moving on with truthful statements, this ban does come within the time frame that so many allegations of sexual harassment and sexual assault are being brought in front of Twitch, but there's no evidence that anything has to correlate with DrDisrespect this time. So even though that is necessarily that this event has happened within the time frame of all of these reports coming out, it does not seem that any of them are correlated or directed at DrDisrespect, at least publicly. And so there's no reason to believe that would have to deal with that. Now, of course, more things could come out in the state that this could be something that happens, but at the current time, we don't know anything publicly that would be in correlation to DrDisrespect about that scenario. Other things, many sponsors have removed Dr. Disrespect from their sponsor creators, and there are a couple partnerships that have fallen through. So they're getting wind of whatever the situation is and removing their correlation to Dr. Disrespect in and of itself. These things don't seem very, very good. Again, it's something that doesn't seem like it's going to be, rectified very, very quickly. And so the last thing that I want to bring to your attention that is, factual is the last 30 seconds from his final stream. The tone that he displays here is very uncharacteristic of his persona.
It.
I guess not.
Ever.
I like being it. Pick
Don't
me.
ever make me
Pick
it. I
me.
never want to be it. No.
I know, right?
No.
David
Pick
Icke.
me. I'll be it.
No, bad. No.
I ordered his book
No,
too.
bad.
Yeah, I want to be it.
No, bad.
Oh, the backyard. The backyard.
Oh, okay.
Okay, who's it?
I appreciate
Who's it?
everyone
Yeah,
watching
who's
today.
it in the backyard? Who is going to be
The
looking?
backyard's tough.
we'll
We
get
don't really, like you said, we don't really know some of the.
Yeah,
we'll
we
get
don't
through
know
this
this
Champions
map
Clip.
very
That's,
well.
yeah, I know it's a tough. That's
because I don't know this one well.
life's weird right now.
Yeah, look.
Oh
Well-
it did.
we'll get through this, okay? And
Hey, Christopher.
Dun dun dun! You better not taunt me. How dare you?
fuck.
You get to try
Join the Champions Club right now. Whether you're tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 to out of your mind, or your Amazon Twitch primed to death.
The thing that concerns me the most is at the very end of the clip when he checks his phone, drops an F-bomb, and then goes into his outro. That can be taken two ways. We'll talk about it in a little bit. That's more or less the most optimistic side of things that you could possibly get. But all in all, it does not look good, especially for the fact that he is losing so much support at this time. So those are the facts. Those are the things that have actually happened. I did spill in just a little bit of speculation there. It's hard not to speculate when you don't have a clear and coherent statement coming out on exactly what the ban was. Again, having someone who does leaking for their job, stating that they were uncomfortable with going on a lead that they had from credible sources, does not bode well at all. When thinking about all this that comes out, there are two things that really come to mind when deciphering all of the different instances of things that happened. One, whatever happened or whatever's going on is too distressing to air publicly. And if if Twitch were to throw this out publicly, it would probably not only damage Doc, but damage anything correlated to Doc, such as Twitch itself, and so on and so forth. Again, speculation, but at the same time, that's number one thought that comes into my head. And so number two, that makes me feel like it's possibly criminal, because I feel like there's no way that if someone can distance themselves in a PR mood from something pretty bad, that they wouldn't do it to try and save face. So there's a strong correlation to whatever Doc is supposedly having going on right now could be criminal in nature and therefore not good for the platform itself. And the same thing with all of his sponsors and partnerships backing out of everything. Or removing their sponsorship from him. They don't want to be correlated around it either, and so it's very, very bad. Now I'm gonna leave you with something that could be on the very, very flip side, very, very possibly good. But again, this is very, very serious so far, and I don't see a reason why this positive trend could be good. But the last thing that came to my mind is Doc has showmanship. And so one conspiracy could be, which, since we don't have a clear understanding of what's going on or what's happening with it, this could all be a ploy to be a very, very, very big comeback or necessarily joke or something crazy. He gets in cahoots with all of his different sponsors, with all of his different brands and everything, and says, hey, we're going to do this big kickoff where it seems like I've done something very, very terrible. But nobody formulates anything. We're gonna get everybody in on it, and then we're gonna have this big reveal after. I don't see why you would do that or want to have that happen, but the only thing I could think of is that his return after having his hiatus from when he was trying to correct his marriage after having so many issues with infidelity. When he came back, he topped out at 350,000 people concurrently. Same sort of thing, a ploy to get very huge viewership and have a very, very, very large support from his community. And the only reason that I speculate or think about that in general is just due to the fact that there's no concrete evidence as to what's going on, and you have very, very vague statements coming out from any and everybody that's close to the situation. With that, I'm not sure. A lot of the evidence that comes through does seem very harrowing and does seem very, very terrible, but the way he ends his stream just gives me a thought that maybe there could be a positive side to it that's completely just conspiratorial and not founded in anything. You know, I don't know. It's very, very disconcerting to see something like that happen. And I wish the best for anybody in the Champions Club. Hopefully your streamer comes back and is able to continue his amazing content. But as for now, that's all I've got for you. It's me, Football Freak 215. I'm going to get out of here. Enjoy your freaking day, and I will see you in the next video. Deuces.